What's up, guys? So get the popcorn popping, get the sodas pouring, get the coffees made. Hurry up and make love to your wife and get right back at here because it's time for your favorite show. That's right, it's the Lucha Libre news/rant show right here. Let's just dive right into things. So you all must have heard by now at the start of Lucha Underground Season 4, the executives were asking luchadors and the wrestlers if they wanted out of their contracts or not. A lot of them actually took the out and left, but some wanted to stay and see how Season 4 went. Ivelisse was one of the luchadors who stayed, but as Season 4 went on, she asked for a release from her contract, and Lucha Underground did not want to release her from her contract or at the time, and still doesn't want to release her from her contract. Other luchadors and wrestlers, such as Joey Ryan, have been also asking for their release, but Lucha Underground is not wanting to release anyone at this time. Ivelisse and Joey Ryan, of course, took to social media to vent their disappointment and their disconnect with the Lucha Libre company. Joey Ryan ended up stating that there's still no word on a Season 5 yet. There's no word that even if there'll be a Season 5 as of yet, but yet they're still refusing to release anybody else from their contract. Now, there hasn't been no word from Lucha Underground on this as of yet. They haven't stated anything just yet, but as the things go on, more and more luchadors and more wrestlers are coming forward and stating that they've been asking for releases from the company, but they are not wanting to grant that to anybody as of yet. So we'll keep you posted as things go on with that, let you know how things go. Of course, CMLL, Fantastic Mania, in Tokyo, Day 3, matches were Barbaro and Templaro, who took on Adios and Flyer. This was a good matchup, of course, nothing amazing, but it was still pretty good. Barbaro and Templaro ended up winning this matchup, which I'm a big Templaro fan. He's one of my top 5 favorite luchadors of all time, so definitely not disappointed in that. Atlantis beat Komoro in a really good matchup. The matchup was actually pretty good back and forth, and the matchup definitely for me was the matchup of the night for sure. I actually really liked it and definitely can't complain about that at all. Dragon George and Sweet Gorilla beat Jinbei Mask and Gorkibin Mask. This matchup, I butchered that name, by the way. This matchup was definitely not that great, but it was still pretty good. There was nothing to write home about, but Volador Jr. ended up beating Caristico in a really good matchup. This was definitely one of the top matchups of the night for sure. It was really everything you wanted to see in a good Lucha Libre matchup. Of course, NGB ended up keeping their trio titles as well, and this was definitely one hell of a great event. If you could watch some highlights from that, I definitely recommend that you do so. Now, AAA on Twitch ended up seeing Dasanti and Lady Shani and Nino. They ended up beating Marvella, Lancelot, and Valenarlo 3 Jr. This matchup was definitely really good and definitely had everything you wanted to see in a great matchup. You definitely want to check out this matchup for sure. It was definitely really good. Seeing Nino in action is definitely really great. I always get excited when I see him in action. Now, Killer Cross did end up beating Dave the Clown and Parka Negara, which was an okay matchup. Son of Phantasma and Reyes Scorpion and Blue Demon Jr. ended up beating Dr. Wagner Jr., La Parka, and Psycho Clown. This was definitely the matchup of the night for me. It was definitely an unreal matchup. It was definitely extremely back and forth. ROH has signed Rush to a non-exclusive contract. Rush will still be completing competing in MLW, as well as competing in CMLL, as well as competing in all the other companies that he's currently competing in. Not long after this announcement was made, Rush ended up pulling himself from a matchup that is set to take place on WrestleMania weekend of April 4th of this year, in which the match he was supposed to take on La Park. Now the matchup is set to be La Park versus Penta Jr. I'm not super excited for that matchup because we've seen Penta Jr. and La Park go at it so many times that, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really excited to see that in an MLW matchup. I was, however, looking forward to Rush versus La Park in an MLW ring, because it shows their feud moving from one place to another, and it shows them kind of going, you know, they're carrying on their feud, and which is awesome thing to definitely see for sure. But yeah, I'm not excited for that La Park versus Penta Jr. They could have done so many better matchups, but it is what it is, and whatever. Of course, we've seen a lot of great luchadors go through ROH. Bandito is currently one of them. I just recently watched a matchup with him in ROH against the Darewolf, and it was a really, really great matchup. You know, there's a couple hiccups, but of course Bandito ended up pulling out the win, and I think Rush is going to definitely do really well in ROH. I think it's a really good place for him to be, so I'm definitely excited about that, and I hope everybody is as well. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the show today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, you know how much, and I'll check you in the next video.